Hey there. Caught me reading. Called Make It Stick. I like to read once in a while. Now, this is pretty interesting. It's the science of successful learning. So I reckon this week I'll have you learn some of this science of learning, of successful learning, so you can be successful later. All right? And yes, this is my wooden bow tie. It's pretty nice. Well, let's get to it. All right, now, learning about learning and how to learn and all that. There's some techniques as a student that you should use. Now, you got to keep your mind on Trieve and retrieve. All right, when you're Trieving something, you're learning it, for the first time, and putting that in your brain, and then you're gonna forget something, and then you got to go and find retrieve. All right, now retrieve is like when you're quizzing, when you've learned something and you're trying to remember it. That is retrieving it. Now, to retrieve, there's some things you got to do. So, like quizzing is really good. So whenever you're studying, you should try to quiz yourself. Now, like that could be using flashcards. Another thing is you could elaborate on it. So when you're trieving it or retrieving it, and you're looking at it, you gotta think about different connections that you can make to that information, to other things that you know, because that helps make a more solid connection in your mind. All right. So think of learning like creating a new path in the woods. So if you going hiking and you going where nobody has ever been, then you're gonna there's gonna be a lot of bushes there. It's gonna be hard to get to wherever it is you're going. So when you are making new information in your brain, that's got to make a new kind of like folder or something. That's a new location that you're going hiking. So you gotta go back and visit there, and the more you go back and the more people that go hiking in that location and use that path, that that's going to make it easier, because you ain't going to have all them bushes and stuff getting in your way. That's already worked out. So it's going to be easier. So the more you go find retrieve in the woods somewhere, the easier it is for you to go find retrieve, because he's going to stay in the same spot. And every new information is like a new location, that you're going to go find and make new paths for in your brain. All right. So when you make connections to that information, that's like finding different paths in the woods to go to the same place. Some of them might be shorter, some of them might be longer, but that is more options to get to that same place. So whenever you're thinking about something, to go find retrieve, you gotta, there's multiple paths that you could take to get back to that information. So depending on where you are in the woods, it might be easier to take a different path than another path. All right. Now, so elaborating is good. So you thinking about different connections to something. So for instance, if you are learning about atoms. Thinking about atoms, you know, say maybe hydrogen, all right? Then maybe you can start thinking about how hydrogen is used. Also, there's H2O, you know the formula for water. You know, that H is hydrogen. And, you know, maybe a fact that hydrogen can blow up. All right, so all these little bits of information centered around hydrogen can help you in finding that retrieve and making it easier. So, collaborating is definitely good. So quizzing yourself, there's a few different ways that you can go about quizzing yourself. You know, you can make those flashcards. Now there's a method, a popular method that used for using flashcards called the Leitner method. He's a good friend of Retrieve, and I'll talk more about that in a second. So elaborating is good. Find Retrieve. Okay. Any way that you can, in your brain, make more connections for elaborating and extending, being creative with it, applying that information in different ways, using it, that's good. All right. Now, number 2, socially distance Retrieve. All right, we love Retrieve. We want to go find him, but you don't want to go visit him too much. All right. Now, the more you go, the better. But you know, you gotta space it out. All right. So if you wait a little while before you go see Retrieve again, that's going to be good. All right. Now, if you just went to see Retrieve 5 minutes ago, that might not be as good as if you wait till tomorrow, because forgetting is a powerful thing. All right. You got something called short-term memory, and that makes it easier to go find Retrieve without making that good solid connection. You know, making that path in the woods really good and traveled. What you want to do is wait a little bit until you've forgotten. And like I said, sleep is a really good thing about forgetting. If you wait a good 24 hours, you know, your brain kind of compresses a lot of information that you learn that day, and it might be hard to go get Retrieve after that, because you know, when you wait some time, you know, more weeds are going to grow up in that and along that trail that you made, and so you got to go back and whack some of them weeds down. So socially distance Retrieve, you know, space it out a little bit, and this is part of Retrieve's friend called the Leitner method. So you might want to look more about that up. That is about using them flashcards that I mentioned and spacing them out a little bit. That if you're doing real good and you got 10 flashcards and you've got 4 or 5 questions that you're doing really well, you get them like that. All right. Maybe you set those off to the side and wait, you know, a couple more days. Instead of doing it every day, you wait a couple days, or 3 days, or 4 days. And the better that you get at doing it, you can space them out a little bit further. So this helps you learn stuff more long term than in the short term. So if you just like cram for a test, that's all in your short term memory. And that'll help you then, but that's not going to help you remember it for a long time. All right. So socially distance Retrieve. Now, also it's good when you're learning to make it hard on Trieve. So if Trieve is too easy, then it might be a little easy to forget too. So when a teacher tells you to try to do it yourself, first before they teach you something, that's actually pretty good because your brain is using its power to try to figure it out itself. And that is more powerful than if I tell you the answer outright, okay? This is research, all right? So this, there's research behind this, that this helps you. It doesn't feel, it might not feel good, might not feel like you're learning, but it is good for your brain because your brain is going to pay more attention to the solution after you have tried to struggle to figure it out on yourself. All right. And fourth one, don't fall for Trieve's tricks. All right. Trieve sometimes tries to trick you. It feels real good when you don't study and then you cram for that test and then you do all right. But you ain't learning it long term. See, it's tricking you. You're learning it for that short period of time, but you ain't learning it for a long period of time. And we want you to learn it for a long period of time because we use cumulative tests and all that stuff. So don't fall for Trieve's tricks. Not everything that mentally feels good is actually good for your long-term memory brain. All right? So don't fall for them tricks. So now, this is my last real lesson for you. All right, and I have a reading for you to do, so you can read about some of this yourself and reflect on it. And I've got that, in the assignment. Now next week is sort of a makeup week, so anything that you missed, you can have time to put that in there to submit it. So make sure you get all that stuff in. So I'm not going to be making a video for a new lesson. However, I will say that if you want another episode of Hillbilly Science next week, just to watch for fun, leave a comment. All right, leave a comment. Tell me what you'd like, and I'll aggregate. That's a big word. Aggregate all them responses that you submitted. Look at them and try to figure out what I'll do next week. Now, it might, depending on if I get something that's overwhelmingly for one topic, I'll try to make it on that topic. So that is up to you. If you want to see one next week, holler at me, let me know, and I'll try to make it something funny and short. I don't want to be making a long one. All right. Now, love y'all. Hope you have a good summer. And if nobody wants to see me next week on one of these videos, you don't have to see me. So I may or may not be making a video. It's up to you all. All right. All right. Now, peace out, Girl Scout.